Law Call.
Welcome back, everyone, to Law Call. It's our probably, I guess, a viewer favorite. Is Ask Us Anything. You're not limited to any particular area of the law, so let's hear from you. I'm joined tonight by our host attorney. It's Michael Horne from the law firm of Reynolds, Horne Survant, and our guest attorney tonight, all the way from Sandersville, is attorney Alan Smith of the E. Alan Smith firm there in Sandersville. And we are ready to take your calls. We actually have another caller with a question. We've got Marvin holding for us from Macon. Hi, Marvin. You there, Marvin?
I'm here.
Hey.
Hi there. Go ahead with your question for us tonight.
Yes, my wife passed, and I was wondering about, should I probate? She didn't leave a will, but everything we own was in both our names except maybe some autos. All insurances, I was beneficiary. Should I probate?
Well, hey, Marvin, thanks for calling. Sorry to hear about your wife. So, so there was no will, right?
Right.
And insurance, I mean, that's going to pass outside of probate.
That's correct.
The house, did y'all have? Do you know if you had? Y'all jointly were on the house?
We jointly owned, and all bank accounts we jointly owned.
Do you know if they had the right of survivorship on the? Probably so. Usually, generally,
That's
if you're
right.
married, they're going to just. But I don't. Alan sounds
I
like
think-
probably he doesn't need to.
Well, I think he said that there was an automobile that was owned.
Oh,
Is that correct?
Just one automobile. Yeah, we had separate automobiles in our
okay.
in her.
So it sounds like that was the
And
one
her-
exception.
Hers was in her name. Is that correct?
Right, she had one in her name.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you could file, a no administration necessary. And do you have any children, or are there any other
No
heirs?
No children.
No children.
Okay. No children.
No children.
No children. And so then you're basically the only heir. So that's a very, simplistic process to go through.
Yeah, that's called. Yeah, there's a certain type you can file called no administration necessary, like he was saying. Basically, especially when there's no heirs or very few heirs, and you can get, and since it would just be you just have to sign off on it. And I'm not going to say it's easy because ain't nothing in probate court makes common sense to me. But of all the things you'd have to do in probate court, is about the easiest thing way you could do it. But yeah, I missed that about the car in her name. Yeah, everything else though, it sounds like you don't need it. But yeah.
What if he had to do that? I guess maybe if she actually had a will, what would he have to then do in terms of what is probating exactly?
Well, basically, what you're trying to do is make sure all of the expenses of the estate are paid. Mm-hmm. Because if there were expenses of the estate, then those creditors would have a claim against the assets, and basically just trying to get that resolved prior to any distribution to any beneficiaries.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like when you pass away. I mean, everybody's got a bunch of stuff, and when you pass away, I tell clients it's almost like, like a business. All your stuff is kind of like Mike Horner LLC, and something's got to be done with that stuff. And in this instance, it sounds like about everything can pass outside of probate, but the things that can't, and like you said, expenses and debts and things like that, all that goes into the stuff.
It sounds like that, Marvin, this gentleman's name, it sounds like, you did a great way to administer your estate by preparing most of your investments in each other's name as a joint survivor. Mm-hmm. And that was, you did something better than most lawyers can do.
Yeah, that's the way my mom did it, where just pretty much everything. She didn't have a whole lot, but she had me on her accounts before she died, and that way you just didn't have to.
It's resolved.
It's done. Yeah.
It's pre-planning that was done very well, Marvin.
Yeah, good job, Marvin. And again, sorry to hear about your loss.
Sorry for your loss, but hope that was some helpful information.